Hello, teacher. This might be my 20th attempt to get this assignment done, but I'll do my best because it's been taking me a while to finish this. So the speech that I chose was Martin Luther King, I Had a Dream. And the main point for his speech was that he was fighting for equal rights and justice for people of color, especially African Americans. And he states that 100 years back, there was a Declaration of Independence signed that promised to end slavery. So 100 years passed, and it seems like it hasn't changed much for people of color. So he states that he's gonna do the greatest demonstration of freedom, and that when he's talking through the speech, so he uses a lot of figurative speech when he says that people of color got a check, but it hasn't been cashed because it hasn't changed much for them to get their freedoms, to get their rights, to live happily. And so he mentions that the country still has money and he can pay that debt. And he asks for people to start a revolution. He doesn't want them to do a lot of violence, but he knows it's gonna or hate. But that's the main point of his speech, like getting their freedom rights back. And the non-verbal cues that Martin Luther King uses is that he pauses a lot while he's giving his speech, and he also uses a lot of repetitive tones, sentences like now is there time, and he goes to give an example, and then he says now is the time and give another example. Also, when he repeats himself when he says I had a dream, that he American and colored people we have live with each other, or they will have the equal rights. And he also uses tone of voice kind of higher in some certain situations when he wants to state a point. And the listening challenges I had was that while I was listening at the speech, my neighbors they were basically making noise around the house, so that was kind of hard to pay attention to. Also, I had I forgot to turn off my. Sometimes I could start getting some notifications to my phone, and that kind of distracted me a little bit. So I had to turn it off and obviously pause the audio so I can continue on listening to the video. I almost forgot. Also, there was some sort of part of the audio that it kind of got disturbed by car noises. I don't know why, but it's on that recording, and so for some reason when he was talking, he was giving his speech. His tone of voice lower because it seemed like he was further away from the microphone. But I think it was the bad recording that made that difficult to listen to. Any task that I can do while I'm listening, actually the only task I can do is take notes, because that's the best way that I can remember whenever I'm listening to a speech. Because if I'm sitting there for a few hours and just basically look at them and start picturing up what they're trying to the message to convey, and after it's gonna be hard for me to remember everything they say unless I wrote up notes. So that's the only test I think I can do while I'm listening to someone when they're giving a speech. And yeah, I think that was it for me for this assignment.